My name is Aakash Divanji, and it's been about 2 years since I started working with Yogi. I can't believe it's been 24 months already, but I thought this would be a good time for me to make a quick testimonial video. For any of you out there that are considering working with Yogi, I'm going to try and summarize my experience with him. It has been incredible, in short, and hopefully this may help you. And Yogi, addressing this to you, I think we've come an incredibly long way since we first started coaching 2 years ago, and it has made a really big impact on my life. So I very much from the bottom of my heart thank you, and I hope this working relationship of ours continues for a long, long time. So just a heads up, I have a few notes here because I think there's a lot to talk about. I didn't want to miss anything, so don't mind me if I look down into my notes and just refer to what I want to talk about. I think 2 years ago, when Yogi and I started working together, the definition of our work was a lot different than what it is right now. I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I just was basically just reaching out and feeling out into whatever network I had to see if anyone could help me find and move to a new job. So we started off working with finding a new job, or rather defining what I was even looking for, and then that relationship or that the things that we focused on changed a lot over time. Started with finding a job, and then we started, once I found a job, to negotiate the compensation for that job, and then it moved into a lot more of personal development, and then we started talking about workplace efficiency and how I can be more productive at work and have better output, and then about direction at work, and then about direction in life and mapping out life goals, and then aligning those life goals with the actions I'm taking today. So we really have talked through and worked through a lot of different things, but overall it has had a very, very positive impact on my life. So the way we've gone through doing these things, I think I've listed out 4 different points that I think have really helped me. We've done a lot more, but maybe these are the 4 things that really stood out. One is introspection. I personally am not the type of person to spend a lot of time introspecting. I'm not good with confrontation. I'm not good with introspection. I'm not good with, or at least prior to working with Yogi, I was not good at really knowing myself, what I was looking for. I guess I had vague ideas about it, but I didn't really define it for myself. So it was all very intangible. What Yogi and I have spent a lot of time doing is introspecting, uh, thinking about what I really want in life and penning it down, making it a lot more tangible and real, so that I have something concrete to work towards. I think what I've learned ultimately is that all the answers are within for each and every one of us, and just as you need a mirror to see your own reflection, to see yourself, Yogi has been serving as that mirror to me to help me find the answers that I know are already within me, but I'm just not able to find them. And I think he does that exceptionally well. So that's one thing. And one example of that was the very first thing we worked on, which was helping me find a job. Because at that point in time, I really did not know what I was looking for. I was just fed up with my existing company, and I just wanted to get out, and I wanted something starkly opposite to what I was already doing. And that's not really a good way to go about looking for a new job, because you're not working towards something, you're running away from something else. And so when we started talking about this, we really peeled the onion a lot, through conversations and through a way of introspection for me, I guess. And we realized that there were basically a handful of things that I was really looking forward to, which very much aligned with what I wanted to do 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line, which I'm now a lot closer to, by the way. And I think we took the right decision when I look back at it. So I realized there were things that I was looking for, things like having a small startup environment for reasons of my own, which I will not delve into right now. But I wanted a small startup environment because I wanted to have more exposure to the business. I wanted to have a scrappy environment to be able to be quick and dirty with my work. I wanted to have people problems in the office, which I wanted to deal with, expose myself and to deal with, to learn how to deal with. I wanted to have operations type of work so that I could get my hands dirty and work with people who are working on the ground. And then I also wanted to learn a little bit about marketing, and a little bit about sales, and a little bit about ops, and a little bit about analytics, and a little bit about business strategy, again for reasons of my own. And so I listed out all these things, and then began to look for jobs specifically that offered each of these things. That's how I ultimately found the job that I was looking for. that's one thing, introspection. Another one of the things that I think he and I have worked a lot over the last 2 years is aligning my near-term actions with my long-term objectives and vision. And when I say long-term objectives and vision, I mean 50 years from now, what I want out of life in general. And it's very difficult to think about that because it's very abstract. When we think of life, we don't really think of it as 100 years. That's a long enough period of time for us to achieve anything. The sky is the limit. Not even, there is absolutely no limit. And so it's difficult for our minds to be able to have such an unbounded exploratory exercise to be able to think of what we want from life. So Yogi and I spent time doing that for me, and what worked very, very well for me was to map out what I wanted my life to be 50, 60, 70 years from now, when I'm probably at my deathbed or nearing it, and then mapping out the steps that I need to take today or over the next 1, 3, 5, 10, 25, 50 years to be able to get there. And one example of that is health and fitness. I think 2 years ago I was struggling, before I started working with Yogi, I was struggling to string together a consistent workout over a long period of time. I would have bouts of good workout weeks and then bouts of bad workout weeks. And it was not a consistent part of my life. And in addition to that, my health and eating was not as good. I, whims and fancies, eating out and not being as conscious about the food that I was putting into my mouth. I think today when I look at my life and I look at my the food that I put into my body, the food that we prepare at home, and the workouts that I do, I probably do on average 5 to 6 days a week of workout. And I can confidently say that statistic has been true for the last 6 months, 5 months. And I don't see it waning at all over time. I'm not afraid that my workout regime is going to go away because I truly enjoy the workout. And the reason I do is because I'm connecting it, or I'm able to connect it with where I want to be 60 years from now. So that's another thing, being able to connect near term and long term, and I think that has had a tremendous impact on my ability and openness to do things. Another one thing that we've worked a lot on is habit building, and it really has worked wonders on me. I've always been the kind of person who has valued habits, good habits, who has valued routine, who has valued discipline, but always thought I was not the type of person to be able to do it. Simple things like maybe even as simple as having a bath every day. I could not with certainty tell the world that I will have a bath every single day for the rest of my life. And this may seem like a silly example, but these are the things that we need to work on in order to debunk the myths that we have about ourselves, which end up holding us back. And we've done a lot of that. So with habit building, I guess what I spoke about earlier, alignment and meaning, is one of the things that helps a lot to be able to connect where we want to be with where we are now, and the actions and habits that we have to start building today. So that's one thing that we've worked a lot on and has helped me a lot. And he's helped me a lot with things like environment design, and these are simple tips and tricks that we can do to make it easier to build habits. So positive reinforcement, for example, works very, very well. Our mind and body, we're trained, I guess, to do things that we are rewarded for. And typically things that we are rewarded for are small little things like checking a task off the list. But that doesn't leave a lot of room for doing things that have a delayed reward, right? So big things, strategic thinking and stuff like that does not give you a reward. And so if we just reframe the narrative behind that, right, for ourselves, it's all just for ourselves. How do we reward ourselves for spending time to do strategic work? It may not actually be tangibly rewarding, we may not achieve something out of it, but building the habit to spend time on doing strategic work is something that we should reward ourselves for. So maybe just putting a simple tick mark every single day on a piece of paper where you're tracking the amount of time you spend on doing strategic work can help you build a habit for spending time doing strategic work, which in the long run will be extremely beneficial. And that's something we've worked on. I think even more than that, this is an incredible example, a superb success story for me and myself in my life. I have always been the kind of person who's dreamed of being able to play a musical instrument. I always dreamed or envisioned myself around a fireplace, sitting with a guitar and strumming some tunes and putting stuff together, and people singing along. And no matter how strong that vision or dream I had for myself, I was never able to really pick up the practice for whatever reasons. So Yogi and I started working on that. We realized it is something important to my life, and we started with something as simple as 5 minutes every single day. I kid you not, 5 minutes. That 5 minutes has grown to 45 minutes. I can play a handful of songs. I know the guitar is going to be an integral part of my life, and maybe even go beyond guitar to other musical instruments and stuff like that. And it's just very, very incredible to me to be able to say this is something that I dreamed of and thought I would never be able to do, but I am doing it now, and I'm doing it today, and it adds so much value to my life and so much happiness every single day when I think back about the 45 minutes that I spent that day. And it's not about, I think, like, one of the things that has changed is now when I envision myself with music or with guitar, it's not about me sitting at a fireplace and playing tunes for everyone. Yes, I'm still excited about that vision, but the vision has now morphed into me practicing every day. I'm enjoying that process a lot more than the destination, and that has been an incredible learning for me. And it has happened very intrinsically through these last 2 years, and I have to say that a big kudos and contribution for that goes to Yogi and our work together. And then, yeah, here's one of the other things, and again, this is maybe a sub aspect of the introspection, but we have spent a lot of time really understanding the fears, triggers, and motivators that dictate our actions or our inaction. It dictates our behavior, and I don't know if I have a good example for this or not, but it's basically what we end up doing a lot of the time is really spending time peeling back the onion, peeling back the onion, peeling back the onion until we get to the core, until we get to that bulb, and then we work on steps to address the root issue, or to address the root fear, or to address the root motivator, in order to achieve whatever we are looking to achieve, right? And I guess all of the examples I've spoken about so far, finding a job, so doing the introspection for that, the health and fitness, and for guitar, have involved a lot of aspects of this peeling back the onion to really understand what it is that I want out of something, or what is holding me back from doing something. And again, I think Yogi does an exceptional job with that. He really is able to ask the right pointed questions for you to be able to answer maybe yes or no, or within, in a single sentence, to be able to understand what is driving your behavior and what is driving your action or inaction. And yeah, that has been a very powerful tool in his arsenal when it comes to coaching. And in addition to this, I think he's just a really good he has been a really good resource for materials, books, authors, and it's odd because it seems like he's been an incredible resource for all of the interests in my life, and for all of the things that I want to work towards, and all of the things that I want to be. And I don't know how he keeps up with it, and I don't know where he gets his information and reading and stuff done, and where he gets it from, but he is extremely well read. And I guess maybe through his mentors and coaching and whatever it is, through his network, the knowledge that he gets and assimilates, he's able to pass it on to us as needed, on an as needed basis. And I think that's amazing, because a lot of the times you just you know what you need, or you know what you want, but you don't know where to find it. And over the last, maybe more so in the last 1 year than in the last 2 years, but in the last 1 year he's really been a source for that kind of information and those resources for me. So yeah, I think that kind of summarizes what I have to say about these last 2 years working with Yogi. I have definitely exceeded the time limit for any sort of testimonial. This is 15 minutes, really pushing the limits, but I didn't want to compromise on what I had to say. There's a lot that I think I've gained from this, and if anyone gets anything out of this, I will be happy about it. And just one more parting thought that I'd like to leave is, thing with coaching, what I have learned is you get as much out of it as you put into it. Don't think of it, for anyone that's considering this, and has never done this before, don't consider it as something that is going to be handed to you on a plate. It's not someone guiding you or hand holding you through life. It's just, as I said right at the beginning of this video, your coach will serve as a mirror for you to work on yourself, and it's ultimately you that is going to do the work. It's you that is going to strive to achieve what you want to achieve, and your coach is just going to serve as a medium for you, or as a catalyst for you to be able to do that. So don't expect for things to be done and handed to you. Be prepared to put in the effort, be prepared to work hard to get where you want to be, and if you go in with that mindset, you're going to get a lot, I promise you, a lot out of it. Thank you.